politicians think you're stupid? I think the answer is yes. My name's Eric. This is above my pay grade. Let's get into it. So, everyone's worried about a recession. And, so am I. But I think it's important to look at what the Federal Reserve is doing versus what they're saying. Because they say we want to curb inflation, and by 2023, we'll have 2 to 3% inflation. Keep in mind, they are mandated by Congress to promote high or low unemployment and stable prices. Prices aren't stable, right? So why aren't they doing anything? Well, they keep saying they're going to do something. These are the same people that said inflation would be transitory. And I don't know why. I used to be this way. I look at people speaking on the floor of the House, and I think, well, they have 700 degrees and they work at the Treasury or the Federal Reserve. They must know what they're talking about. Jeez. And then they're wrong 9 times out of 10. And you just wonder, who are these people? So the Fed has this mandate to keep prices stable. Prices aren't stable. What do they need to do? Raise interest rates. Here's the problem, and I've said this in other videos. We live in a debt-based economy. And the more debt you take out, think about it in your own life, the more debt you take out, if you're not bringing in more income, you got to take on more debt to service the debt you already took out. And that's where our economy is at. So we have to keep taking on debt and making money easy. Because they speak out of 2 sides of their mouth, right? If the economy is doing great, politicians, we've never had a better economy, it's the best thing ever. Okay, what the Federal Reserve is supposed to do when the party's going hot, we have a great economy, is take away the punch bowl, right? Raise interest rates. They're not doing it, at least in a meaningful way that would actually hamper inflation. And it's affecting people around the world because every country is in this debt-based monetary system. Germany just came out, the grocery store chains came out in Germany and said today they are raising their prices 20 to 50%. 20 to 50%. And politicians say inflation hurts the rich. Does it really? Because your average family, did a video the other day, is going to spend $50 to $100 extra this year on consumables than they did in 2021. Rich people can afford that. Their grocery budget is a scintilla of what they spend money on. They probably don't even go to the grocery store. But your average Joe and Jane, that hurts a lot. And so if you're looking at these politicians, Congress, who makes these mandates, and the Fed, who's not following the mandates, why aren't they doing anything? And this is part of, in my opinion, thinking through, I judge people on what they do, not what they say. But do they care? I don't know if they do. I used to think they did about America, the Constitution, what we stand for, the little guy. Because, throughout society, throughout the world, it was always the rich. The rich always have resources. They don't need the law, per se, because they always had resources to squash the little guy. What law and representation helps is the little guy. and it doesn't seem like they care about your average Joe and Jane. So, part of the reason I started this channel is to give people number one, it's kind of cathartic for me to just talk about this stuff, because sometimes I feel like I'm the only sane person in a crazy world we're living in, and meet people who are like-minded. But two, warn people that you can either be a victim or you can be prepared. And there's ways to play these politicians where you're not a victim of their crappy monetary policy. I was reading the other day, you guys heard of the Great Reset. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy by 2030. Sounds an awful lot like communism, right? One of the pillars of communism is no private property. And I don't want that. Most people watch this video don't want that either. But they repackage it and sell it to you a different way, but it's communism and fascism all over again. And I don't know why we have to learn these lessons every 250 years of like, hey, let's try it again this way. Maybe communism will work this time. It's always led to mass human suffering because human beings desire freedom. And when they say you'll own nothing and you'll be happy by 2030, they're not talking about themselves. They're talking about the proletariat and the bourgeoisie, the haves and the have-nots. And they're not in the have-not crowd. It's the same people that talk about green energy but take private jets everywhere. Just hypocritical. And that's the sin, in my opinion, that people can't forgive. Or at least it's the sin that, hypocrisy is the sin that when you see it in politicians, when they ask you to do something, or in a leader, when they ask you to do something they won't do themselves, no one's going to follow them. No one's going to believe them. Very interesting. But I hope these videos wake people up, that these people that are saying inflation is going to be transitory and our economy is doing amazing and go out and spend and you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Think for yourself, right? That is the point of freedom. Like, you can think for yourself. Use your critical thinking skills. All right, guys. Yet another rant. Again, it's cathartic for me to just blah, 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 blah. Brain dump some of this stuff in video form. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Share this with friends and family. I'll see you in the next one.